Hey everybody, I'm James. I'm a member of the Philos team, and today we're going to be talking about how you can become a Filecoin on-chain cloud. I almost said on-chain cloud ago, on-chain cloud service provider. I'm kind of wearing two hats today. As I say, I'm a proud member of the Philos team, but I've also been a POREP storage provider on mainnet for over 5 years. In fact, 5 years and 1 day to be precise. And during those 5 years, I've asked my fair share of questions. And I've answered quite a few as well. And many of those questions have come from prospective storage providers who may have been evaluating Filecoin for the first time. Normally within the first 3 or 4 back and forth messages, these following 3 questions come up in one way or another. And I'm going to attempt to answer these today, but this time in the context of POREP and PDP and how they compare. So question number 1. What do I need? What kind of hardware, resources, time, investment, etc. If I want to launch a Filecoin warm storage service provider, and how are these going to differ from the POREP that I know or may have seen before? Number 2, what will I be doing? What systems and components will I be running, and how are they going to work together in the FWSS stack? And number 3, how am I going to do it? What resources and guides are available to help me get started, and where can I find support if I need it? So jumping straight in, first up, we're going to concentrate on what do I need? And this one is going to be hardware to begin with. So looking at the screen on the left side, you can see the POREP storage summary. POREP is short for proof of replication, and it's the proof that's been helping to power the Filecoin network over the last 5 years to become the world's largest decentralized storage network, representing several exabytes of storage capacity. And on the right, you'll see the PDP service provider summary. PDP, short for Proof of Data Possession, which we introduced to the world yesterday as part of the Filecoin Onchain Cloud and Filecoin Warm Storage Service during Filecoin's 5th birthday celebrations. Now, PDP is not replacing POREP, far from it. POREP's been going strong from strength to strength for over 5 years and is definitely going to continue to do so for many years to come. PDP is designed to work alongside and complement POREP. In really simplistic terms, you can think of POREP as cooler storage, something that's ideal for archival, optimized for long-term immutable storage. And you can think of PDP as warmer storage, which is best and optimized for accessibility, availability, retrieval, and speed. And together, POREP and PDP will massively extend Filecoin's reach and enable providers to offer accessible, always available services alongside traditional sealed storage. Let's dig into the hardware details and how POREP and PDP requirements compare. So looking first on the left-hand side, proof of replication, which I'll keep calling POREP from now on. First of all, CPU, you're looking at enterprise-grade CPU, such as AMD EPYC, which is designed for heavy workloads. You're looking at high-end GPUs built for HPC and massive parallel processing, things like NVIDIA Tesla series. You're looking at really high-capacity RAM, parallel data-intensive workloads. These are normally into the hundreds of gigabyte scale. One of my POREP miners has a terabyte of RAM. You're looking at to process large multi-gigabyte car payloads. So you're talking about heavy bandwidth, relentless, always on downloading of big 32, 64 gigabyte files. Very bandwidth intensive and really takes up a lot of internet bandwidth. And in terms of SSDs, you're looking at, and fast storage, you're looking at multi-terabytes of enterprise NVMe grade arrays with a high throughput sealing pipeline. So that's a fairly robust stack. You're looking at a lot of space. You're looking at a server rack. You're looking at DC rental possibly. Let's compare that to how we are with hardware on proof of data possession. And you're probably a few steps ahead of me, but you can already see it's massively less. So for CPU, you're looking at a decent desktop class CPU such as AMD Ryzen. I have a small mini form box which I'm running at the moment. It's running an AMD Ryzen 9. Big plus here is no GPU required. PDP is entirely CPU driven, and that obviously equals lower costs and complexity. You're looking at a much smaller memory footprint. From the 1 terabyte I have in one of my POREP nodes, you're looking at a minimum of 32 gigabytes. That little bare metal box I mentioned earlier, I'm actually running that at 64 gigabytes. And with that processor and that memory, it's working as absolute champ, loads of muscle to spare as well. As Molly mentioned, you're still going to need a high-speed broadband connection, but you're dealing with smaller, simpler, faster file transfers this time. to put it briefly, if someone wants to unload or onboard a 1 GB file, you're downloading, you're transferring 1 GB, you're processing 1 GB, and you're storing 1 GB. So it's a lot different than downloading massive car files of 64 and 32 GB size. And you're looking at a much smaller SSD footprint, around about 1 TB. That's what I've chosen to use on my node. Even that's probably a little bit much, and that's going to run the PDP stack. It's going to be compact, energy efficient, and low maintenance. So now let's have a look at our operational overheads. And again, going through the left-hand side of POREP, you're looking at sealing workflow, multi-stage sealing pipeline, proof cycles, and active scheduling. Again, GP accelerated sealing, coordinating sector queues, worker resources, etc. Lengthy sealing cycles, we're talking multi-hour operations. High maintenance burden, we've got hardware tuning, failure management, high energy costs. Anybody who's been a POREP provider knows that getting the tuning right and getting the balance in your SP working can take a bit of time. Curio's made things a lot easier of late, but there's still a fairly high investment in terms of operational overhead. And you're also looking at sector lifestyle cycle operations, such as ongoing sector maintenance, things like unsealing and garbage collection. Moving over to PDP, again, very different picture. Looking at a service workflow, Curio schedules PDP tasks automatically. Very importantly, there's no sealing or sector management. PDP does not use sectors at all. Going on to CPU, GPU, no GPU accelerated sealing. Again, no GPU required. CPU only, lightweight Curio service, no GPU, no sector orchestration. Talking about fast proof cycles with the new PDP proof, generated and verified within minutes, low latency, fully automated, low maintenance burden, minimal tuning, low energy use, and reduced operational complexity, and stable, unsealed storage. Data remains online and retrievable without resealing or unsealing cycles. So the result is minimal maintenance and dramatically lower operating costs. To put it into perspective, if you guys are watching this presentation on a laptop or desktop that you bought in the last couple of years, you could run a fully functional PDP storage or service provider on that machine right now, which is a massive difference from POREP, which requires a large rack, large server data center rack with tons of hardware, and a lot more operational overhead. So let's move on to some of the tools I mentioned in the initial introduction. And these are available right out the gate. So although we only announced yesterday, these are already online, public, and available for everyone. And once you get your node up and running, once you're online, once you're activated, you can immediately check out your performance. And we've got two tools we're going to concentrate on today. First of all is PDP Scan. You can see some screenshots on the right-hand side there. The domain is there. I am going to post a link tree at the end, so don't worry if you haven't got time to write down these links just yet. They will be in the link tree. This gives you a live view of the entire PDP network. You can see real data straight from the network overview, lots of providers, as you can see in the list on the right, data sets, pieces, and data stored, and of course feeds. You've got the full provider list with every active PDP provider. You've got a really cool data set explorer. So there you can see the data sets, and then you can drill down and actually see the proving history and status of those data sets. It brings a lot of on-chain transparency. You can inspect transaction, event logs, etc. You can quickly confirm your provider status. You can view live activity, and of course you can compare PDP performance across the network. Everything's public, searchable, and updating in real time. There's no setup required, and it's available now. So please go ahead and check that out. There's the link tree. Give that a quick scan. Don't worry, it's going to come up again in a couple of slides. Moving on to DealBot. And this is probably quite nostalgic for some of you guys. If you remember DealBot from Space Race back in 2020, it has returned, and this time it's bringing some heat. We've got a really cool interface here. It's a live dashboard, and it is for PDP performance metrics. So you get some really cool feedback, things like deal success rate, retrieval success, TTFB. You get an excellent idea of network, of the total deals, of the retrievals, CDN or not, overall success rates across the entire network. You get provider rankings. We all like a bit of healthy competition. So you can see where you are on the scoreboard, how you relate to your colleagues. You can check for trend analysis, and of course you can check for failure insights. If you're something that needs to be tweaked or enhanced on your PDP node, you can see that pretty much instantly. Everything again is live, transparent, and automatically updated. click through a few more screens there, you can see all of those are individual PDP service providers, and you get overall network metrics as well. There's the link tree again. Don't worry, it's coming up again if you haven't scanned it now. Okay, so moving on to what second question. What will I be doing? Nice and simple. Lotus is your node's connection to the Filecoin network. It syncs the chain, manages wallets, submits on-chain messages. Most of you are used to Lotus. Secondly, Yugabyte DB, distributed SQL database, which is used by Curio. It manages deal and proof metadata, stores operational data about Curio, things like config, etc., ensures reliability and persistence. And of course, Curio is the coordination layer for FWSS and PDP. It interfaces with Lotus and Yugabyte, manages storage paths, submits proof. It's going to expose your public service endpoint, where storage clients can reach you. And it includes a really cool innovative web UI for configuration and overall management. Now, if you're a PowerApp storage provider, you're probably looking at thinking this and thinking, hang on, I'm running Lotus, I'm running Yugabyte DB, and I'm running Curio. You're absolutely right. You're 95% of the way there. Basically, you have the full stack up and running. PDP will become available in what you're already running. It will take a few bits of configuration, entering wallets, etc., and you're up and running. If you're still running Lotus Miner, if your finger's hovering over that Migrate to Curio button, then you're about 50% of the way there already. You're already running Lotus. You're already running Yugabyte because you're most likely using Boost. The only thing you have to install in is Curio. And as Molly mentioned earlier, you can absolutely use Curio on its own just as a PDP service provider. So you can actually run Lotus Miner alongside Curio. Kind of suggest you upgrade to Curio because you're missing out on a lot of really cool features. But if you are still using Lotus Miner, then you're 50% of the way there. And if you have never installed any of the Lotus stack, if you previously thought Lotus was just a flower, don't worry, because we have given you guides to install from completely freshly installed freshly installed Linux system. It will take you from zero to submitting proofs all the way through. And with this, let's move on to that. How am I going to do it? So we have step-by-step guides which are online and available right now at docs.curio.storage.org. That's again included in the link tree. We go from system prep to PDP proof verification all the way through, and it's easy. Most of it is configuration free. As long as you just follow the simple steps, you don't have to look into config files, you don't have to change a bunch of settings. It's all pretty much just works, which is really cool. It's got comprehensive installation and setup instructions as well as config docs. And this guide was written by SPs for SPs. We've had lots of people run through this with SPs of good experience, OG SPs, and people who have never installed any of these components before. And they've really actively contributed to make this guide really, really solid. So please check that out. And we also have support channels, as many as you're aware. Filecoin Slack, you can check out the Phil PDP support channel and Phil Curio help channel. As I mentioned, we are now launching a program called Warp Speed. This is a program that was going to recognize providers who deliver fast, reliable FWSS services that power the Filecoin Onchain Cloud. The Warp Speed program is global. We want to cover SPs from all over the world. It's going to accelerate the rollout of the Filecoin warm storage service across the Filecoin network. It's going to be focused over a 3-month window from October the 20th to January the 20th, 2026. And this is going to be a select cohort of 15 to 20 top providers who will run live PDP nodes on calibration and mainnet, benchmark performance, and collaborate directly with ecosystem builders to strengthen reliability and upsell. So this isn't a program that you can set and forget and walk away. You need to be running 2 nodes. You need to maintain really good availability and performance metrics. And if you do that, then you have a chance to earn up to 600 Phil over the 3-month period. That's 200 Phil a month. You have a chance to be showcased on the performance on the dedicated Warp Speed leaderboard. While 600 Phil is nice, we all know that the real prize is nicking the top spot of that other storage provider. So you'll have the chance to do that all the way through. That's going to be live and available throughout. And probably most importantly, you will have the opportunity to connect with future storage clients. You're going to be working with teams who are actively developing to integrate FWSS and Filecoin Onchain Cloud right now. And so you'll have a chance to establish enduring business relationships at a really, really early stage with teams that may very well be offering paid storage deals in the future. So it's a really great way to get started. You're going to be busy. You're going to have to react nice and quickly to updates and patches and all the rest. But the application is open now, and you'll also find a few more details on that page. Dates are on the right-hand side there. A few of the minimal requirements. Please apply now. It's only open until we're closing applications on October the 22nd, so you have about a week to get your applications in. And wrapping up, we are basically just getting started. Spinning up a service provider node gives you access to much more than just PDP. So once you have the stack installed, once you're running Lotus, Gigabyte, and Curio, you have a load more services that you can unlock instantly if you wish. You can expand your portfolio. You can enable POREP at any time with the stack you're already using. So using the same Curio web UI that's already been up and running on your node, instantly adding these capabilities to your stack. You can add new income streams. You can generate revenue or offload POREP ceiling by joining the newly released Curio Smart Market, directly accessible again from your existing stack. And watch this space, because there's a lot more coming up with retrieval and pinning providers, ACL integration, and a load more features on the horizon. Your PDP node today is your launchpad for everything coming next. There again is the Linktree code. I'll leave that on for a couple of seconds. All of the links I've mentioned today are available for you there. Please sign up to the Warp Speed program, and I really look forward to seeing you in the PDP channels and Filecoin Stack. That's it from me. Thanks, everybody.